Welcome to today's report from Politrack Africa. My name is David Gitonga, a researcher with Politrack. So today we are presenting our findings for the study conducted between 10th September and the 17th. The title of our study is First-Time Governors Popularity Rating. And of course, our sample constitutes of the 28 first-time governors. And the study was conducted across the wards of the eligible counties. Straight to the ranking, we'll start it off with number 10 going up. At least we look at the top 10. And of course, we'll have the final report that incorporates the entire list. So at number 10 is Mandera County. His Excellency Mohamed Adan Khalif, and asked the question as to whether they would vote him back. 61% of the respondents said that they would, 16% said they wouldn't, and 23% were not sure as to whether they would vote him back or not. At number 9 is Honorable Paul Simba Arati of Kisii County. Asked as whether they would vote him back, the residents of Kisii County, 61.4% say that they would actually vote him back. 18.7% say they wouldn't, and 19.9% were not sure as to whether they would or wouldn't vote him back. At number 8 is Honorable Abdi Guyo of Isiolo, with 63.2% of the respondents saying that they would vote him back, 19.6% saying they wouldn't, and 22.4% were not sure as to whether they would or wouldn't vote him back. At number 7 is Dr. Eric Mutai of Kericho County, with 65.2% respondents saying that they would vote him back, 8% say they wouldn't, and 26.8% were not sure whether they would or they wouldn't. At number 6 is the Siaya County Governor, Honorable James Orengo, with 65.8% of the respondents stating they would vote him back, 21.3% of the respondents say they wouldn't, and 12.9% of the respondents were not sure as to whether they will or they won't. At number 5 is Machakos County Governor, Honorable Wavinya Ndeti, with 68.4% saying they would vote her back, 16.1% saying they wouldn't, and 15.5% were not sure what the decision would be if elections were held today. At number 4 is Homa Bay County Governor, Honorable Gladys Wanga, with 70.1% reporting they would vote her back, 17.9% saying they wouldn't, and 12% were not sure as to how they would vote if the elections were held today. At number 3 is Uasin Gishu County Governor, Honorable Dr. Jonathan B., with 72% saying they would vote him back, 18.4% saying they wouldn't, and about 9.5% of the respondents were not sure as to whether they would or they wouldn't vote him back. At number 2 is Kakamega County Governor, the Honorable Fernandez Barasa, with 75.4% of the respondents saying they would vote him back, and 5% saying they wouldn't, and 19.6% saying they were not sure as to whether they would or they wouldn't. And at the top of the list is Narok County Governor, the Honorable Patrick Olentutu, with 78.6% saying they would vote him back, 6.3% of the respondents say they wouldn't, and 15.1% were not sure as to whether they would. So that is the ranking according to our study. And of course, our sample constitutes of the 28 first-time governors. And the study was conducted across the wards of the eligible counties. Now, our data collection primarily dwelt on public participation and revenue collection and how well the systems are being used and compliance with the County Government Act. Now, our sample size constituted of 5,800 respondents that are randomized across the eligible counties. Now, the key findings of the study are, or the end result of the study was the ranking of governors in terms of the perception of the public and a weighted average of our metrics that included public participation, the presence of a revenue collection system, and of course, compliance with County Government Acts. Now, just to give you the key findings, Patrick Olentutu, the Narok County Governor, had an approval rating of 78.6, followed closely by Kakamega Governor Fernandes Barase, who had 75.4% approval. Jonathan B, 72.1% approval. Gladys Wanga of Homa Bay County with an approval rating of 70.1%. Wavinya Deti of Machakos with an approval rating of 68.4%. Of course, in the extreme end, we could highlight the last three, and the respondents reported that Dr. Moses Badilisha Kiarie had an approval rating of 36.9%. Andrew Mwadime of Taita Taveta had an approval rating of 37.2%, and Susan Kihika of Nakuru had an approval rating of 37.3%. Other notable findings from the study is that 21 out of the 28 governors have an approval rating of more than 50%, meaning that the public perceives that they are making good strides. Another key finding is that two populous counties, Nairobi and Kiambu, stood out as having a low approval rating. And we have Homa Bay County that excelled in the metric that is transparency of revenue collection, and Nyandarua had the least rank in terms of transparency. Now, the implications of the study, although we still are not at the very end of their tenure, is that this finding, or the study was conducted midway through the term. It's 2 years since they got into office, so midway would be 2.5 years. And the perception of the public is that they are doing well, but with a lot of room for improvement. And a notable outcome of the whole study is that there has been a great improvement in the incorporation of the views of the public, that public participation really improved. I don't know if we would attribute this to the uproar by the Gen Z that has made everybody in the public sector now want to incorporate the public in decision making. So there was quite a marked improvement in that metric that is public participation. Other metrics of revenue collection were fairly okay. And the proportion of own source revenue, and this is demonstrated by the secondary data that we got from the Office of the Controller of Budget, that there has been marginal improvement in terms of the proportion of own source revenue that the counties are doing.